Hello and welcome to Your Broken Galaxy. I am Broken, and today I am answering Kano West's 262's question, what if Wat Tambor kicked the crap out of Anakin? The newly dubbed Darth Vader has just finished committing the atrocity of younglingicide and has been sent by his Dark Master to the planet of Mustafar to commit Separatist Council-icide. Palpatine is on the phone with Newt Gunray and says, "When my new apprentice Darth Vader arrives, he will take care of you." And good old Sidious hangs up the call, and Wat Tambor goes over to Newt and says, "You know he's gonna have us all exterminated." And Newt says, "What? No, that's impossible." And Wat says, "Didn't he, totally betray you after the whole Naboo thing?" "Well, I suppose," Newt says. So Wat continues, and we could clearly see his face. That was freaking Supreme Chancellor Palpatine. I mean, they share a resemblance, Newt says. But really, all humans look the same to me, honestly. "Newt," Tambor says, "Darth Vader is coming here to take care of us." And Newt's eyebrows raise in realization, and he says, "Oh, dang it. How does this keep happening?" So Wat says, "Don't worry. We'll be ready." So Newt asks all of the guys to get ready. He says, "You know what? That's it. We're done with the Sith Lords. Dooku and Grievous are gone. We have to stop listening to Palpatine. I mean, have you guys even looked at how this war turned out? Our droids outnumbered the clones literally 10,000 to 1. We need to actually start using these droids in overwhelming force. Who cares if we lose 9,000 for every single clone we take down? We'll still outnumber them." And the council agrees. Suddenly, Rune Hako says, "Viceroy, he's here." So Newt has all of the droids in the command room form a perimeter around them. But Wat Tambor says, "I'm going to stand next to the door so when it opens I can surprise attack him." So Anakin comes strutting along, opens the door, walks in, and just as he steps through the threshold, Wat Tambor kicks him as hard as he can, right in the crotch. Anakin buckles over in pain, falls to his knees, and throws up as he drops his lightsaber. He turns to look at Wat, with tears streaming down his eyes, who delivers a strong right cross to his face, and Anakin is knocked the heck out. Newt looks over at him and says, "Wat? Wow, man, that was sweet." And Wat says, "Well, yeah, I started doing aerobic Echani a couple years ago for exercise, but I guess I must have learned something along the way." So Wat Tambor grabs Vader's saber, and all of the Separatists flee Mustafar. They appoint Admiral Trench's second in command as the new leader of the Separatist forces and tell him, "Win the war." They don't want any war crimes, but they do show him the full extent of the CIS military, and this guy is like, "Are you kidding me? My last fleet had 3 stupid ships. How do we possibly have so many military assets that we haven't used yet?" And Newt is like, "Yeah, we were getting some bad advice from the leadership here, man. I don't know what to tell you." Meanwhile, Anakin wakes up to find that he is being held by Obi-Wan, who has just happened to pick him up when Padme went to Mustafar. He's got shock collars on and the force-prohibiting handcuffs, and they are taking him to Polis Massa, where Padme is going to be giving birth to Luke and Leia. Yoda has failed to defeat Sheev. However, noticeably, Sheev made the grave mistake of announcing that he was the Emperor before Anakin called him and told him that the Separatists were actually defeated, and he's still in the war. Anyway, the new admiral of the CIS, let's call him Ted, he's talking to Newt and Wat Tambor, and he says, "Hey, so Palpatine just announced himself as the Emperor, and there are hundreds of worlds that seem to not be on board with the Republic becoming an empire. I think this is going to bolster our forces. Maybe the best thing for us to do is hold our forces back in reserve and reach out for new allies." And Wat Tambor says, "Brilliant idea," then flicks on Anakin's lightsaber and strikes a pose. To which Newt says, "Can you please stop doing that? I'm afraid you're going to accidentally cut my arm off." And Wat says, "I'm sorry, I'll do it when I go home." So Bail Organa gets a message from the Separatists and says to the Jedi, "It looks like the Separatist army is amassing for a major, full-scale invasion of Coruscant, along with several other worlds. Apparently, they've decided to bring billions upon billions of their reserves out in order to win the war. They've asked if Alderaan wants to join them in taking down the Empire so that we can restore the Republic. And I said yes." And Obi-Wan looks at him and says, "Well, don't that beat all?" And Yoda nods and says, Question Skywalker we must. So they walk over to Skywalker's cell, where he is chained up with the force-blocking shackles and everything, and he's just sitting across the room from Padme, making silly faces at the babies. And Yoda says, "Tell us, you must, young Skywalker, of Palpatine's treachery." And Anakin says, "I'm sorry, Master. He deceived me into thinking that joining him was the only way I could save Padme from passing away at childbirth." "Yeah, Anakin, about that. We're a little bit upset that you went against the Jedi Code and got married. I mean, not cool. You could have just left the Jedi Order, but seriously, did you have to go and engage in the wholesale slaughter of the younglings? That's really terrible. I'm amazed Padme is even wants you around the kids," Obi-Wan says. "Oh, she knew what she was getting into," Anakin says as he winks at his wife. She smiles back at him and rolls her eyes. And Yoda says, "Tell us, Skywalker, about Palpatine." And Obi-Wan says, No, hold on, wait just a gosh darn minute, Master Yoda. I want to know what that last comment was about. What do you mean she knew what she was getting into?" "Master Obi-Wan," Yoda says, time we do not have." So Anakin says, "Right, okay. He is a Sith Lord. I think he was Dooku's master, which is probably why he had me decapitate him after I defeated him. Now that I think about it, tying up loose ends, you know?" "He had you what?" Obi-Wan asked. "While I was unconscious just a few feet away?" "Obi-Wan, please," Yoda interrupts. "Yeah, the guy is just a jerk," Anakin says. "Anyway, I'm just happy that Padme and the kids are alive. As far as I'm concerned, as long as they can visit me, you can just keep me locked in a cell. Good luck winning the war." So the next day, Alderaan, Chandrila, Alcasan, and about 2,000 other worlds end up leaving the Empire to re-establish the Republic and sign a peace treaty with the Separatists that allows them to go their own way if they win. Obi-Wan and Yoda meet with Admiral Ted and the Separatist Council to plan the invasion of Coruscant, which will be the culmination of what looks like a 5-week campaign in the core. As they go, the planets start falling super easily. Like, when they got to Megiddo, which had a clone presence of 10,000 troops, they just dropped 2.5 billion droids onto the planet and overran them in 6 minutes. Finally, they invade Coruscant. Obi-Wan, Yoda, and Anakin, who has been given a temporary release to go on this mission before he is permanently confined to the most ridiculous house arrest that Padme's Nubian money can buy in one of the most beautiful places of the galaxy. They all show up in Palpatine's office, and Palpatine says, "This is all your fault, Anakin. Why didn't you end the Separatists? Why did you defy me?" To which Obi-Wan kind of snickers and says, "Go on, tell him, Anakin." And Anakin says, "Do I have to?" "Tell him you must," Yoda says. "So when I opened the door to the room that the Separatists were hiding in, Wat Tambor kicked me in the crotch, and I passed out." And Palpatine just looks at him with disgust. "Oh, come on, Anakin. Keep going," Obi-Wan says. "Master Yoda, do I have to?" "Indeed you must," Yoda responds. "Fine. I also threw up because of the intense pain, and what actually caused me to black out was when he punched me in the face." "You're talking about the Toaster Man, right?" Palpatine says. "The Toaster beat you. You were the poster boy of the Republic for the duration of the war. You're the chosen one, and a walking AM radio got the better of you." "That's right, Palpatine. You've lost this round," Obi-Wan says. And Palp says, "Well, I did destroy the Jedi Order and become the Emperor. Enough of this, I think. I'll just end you like I ended Mace Windu. Actually, Master Windu defeated you, and you were groveling on the ground like a little baby," Anakin says. "It was I that defeated him." "Anakin, come on, man!" Obi-Wan interjects. "Be not hasty in your judgment, Obi-Wan. A jerk to young Skywalker, Master Windu was. Absolved of his crime, I deem him. Now defeat the Emperor we will," Yoda says. So the 3 Jedi jump over to Sheev, who lasts for a good 15 seconds before having one of his hands cut off by Obi-Wan. He gets hit in the head and knocked out, and has force handcuffs thrown on him too. He ends up going to jail, but due to the ridiculous legal system and all the loopholes that he can possibly exploit, he is not given capital punishment, but instead is given a lifetime sentence, which, because of his extreme wealth and political connections, enable him to get himself a luxurious scariest house arrest with all of his Nubian money right next door to Anakin. They end up going outside every night and sitting next to each other on lawn chairs, each on their own respective side of the property line, and fishing from the lake out back in front of a jaw-dropping view of the waterfalls, living happily ever after. Well, that is my video for today. I am glad you took the time to watch it. If you have recommendations for a video, feel free to put them in the comments below. And it doesn't have to be a what-if scenario. One of my favorite videos that I have made is The Plan to Save Han Was Nuts, where I talk about how ridiculous the plan to save Han in Return of the Jedi was. If there's something you guys want me to talk about that you think would be funny in Star Wars, I would be very interested in that, so just let me know. As a celebration for my 1,000th subscriber, I am planning on having a live stream this Friday, March 22nd. If you go to my channel and you look, I do have a post there about what time it will be, depending on where in America you are. I realize not all of my fans are in America. I'm not in America, but most of my listeners are, so that's kind of who I have it geared towards in my mind. It's going to be an experiment. Might not be funny, but I figure I might as well try doing a live stream at least once. Hopefully you'll join me. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and all that garbage.